In this video, we're going to explore 3 more useful string methods. Instead of starting by giving you the name of the first method, I want to propose a problem that you may want to solve with a specific method. So if you have an example string of const example string, which is equal to test, the end output should be TSET, just like that. So how should we do that? Well, you might think that we can do const reversed string is equal to example string that reverse. This would be amazing. So let's call that and then just do a console log to console log the reverse string. Let's save it. And oops, what happens? Uncaught type error, example string reverse is not a function, which basically lets us know that the reverse method for a string doesn't exist. So what is a reverse method? It exists only on arrays. Now, if I tell you that, try remembering what we did a few lessons ago. We used a string method which split our string into multiple characters, and those characters were in an array. So what we can do is we can first split the string, so use the split method to split each character. Now the output of this is going to be an array, okay? And then we can call dot reverse, because reverse is an array method. Then we reverse it, and then we can call a property called dot join, which is an array method. Again, more on that once we start talking about arrays. But now, if we save this, you can see we get TSET. To reverse a string, we cannot use a normal string method dot reverse because it doesn't exist. This is one of the things that people often confuse or try doing. So I just wanted to give you an example. Although in here we use the same old split, and then the other 2 methods were array methods. Again, more on that later. So this is how you reverse a string using JavaScript. Now we're going to talk about a method called repeat. Repeat does as repeat sounds. Let's say that you want to repeat a string an X number of times. You can easily do that by using the string.repeat method. Let's say the string is called dog says. So dog says woof, right? That's it. And then we can do a console log dog says, and then call the dot repeat method on it. And then in there, you can specify the number of times you want the string to be repeated. Let's say 5. Once we do that, you'll see we easily repeat the string 5 times. Woof, 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 woof. That's it. Yeah, I just barked there. But yeah, we are repeating the string 5 times, and this is it. This is how to use the repeat method. Again, really useful in a lot of scenarios where you need to manage the string to be repeated. The last string in this short video is called trim. So we're gonna delete this and specify the trim. Sometimes users don't know how to type, and we need to clean their emails, usernames, and whatnot. We can clean empty spaces using the trim method. For example, what do I mean by that? When we have an example string, so example string, and let's say that the string is hello world, just like that. But let's say that the user unfortunately typed some spaces in here at the start of the string and some spaces at the end of the string. Of course, he didn't want to type that. He just wanted to have a string of hello world. There, if we now try console logging this, console log example string, you cannot see it, but there are some empty spaces here, right? So how do we get rid of these empty spaces? Well, we can use the dot trim method on it, of course, lowercase, and you can see now there are no empty spaces. This is just hello world as it is without any spaces. So when is this useful? For example, when you're collecting user emails in the form. So let's say that we have an email field, email, and then, okay, so let's enter an email there, contact@javascriptmastery.com. And what usually happens is that users may leave a few spaces at the end, or maybe even a space in between. And this is really hard to notice while you're typing your email in the form. And why is this such a big deal? Because if you're trying to send the email or confirmation email for a sign up or a login form, this is not going to be correct, because a string of space contact something is not going to be equal to just a string without space. So the email could be wrong. That's why people usually always trim emails so that we always get one value like this. If we now save it, we do get one string without any spaces. But if we don't call the trim, let's see what happens. As you can see, now there are some spaces at the end here, and we cannot see them in the console, but the spaces are there. Okay, great. Now you learn how to use the repeat and the trim, and you also learn that we cannot use a reverse method on a string, but we can once we split the string in an array. Great, let's move on to the next video.